Hello, hello, traders. Welcome to the Trading Trail. This is a series where I go ahead and recap every single trade that I take for the year of 2025. We are currently on day 22, and I'm happy to report I am feeling substantially better from my flu that I had last week. Unfortunately, I did recap some of my videos, but none of them made it live on YouTube because I was just feeling so under the weather. But regardless, we are getting back into the flow of things, and we are finishing today very strong. Now, last week, yeah, I was sick. Had a whole number of outside external forces going on, and I ended the week pretty severely red. Now, that's not too much of a problem. I did dig myself about a $1,200 hole from last week, and we are slowly starting to chip back away at that and get back green on the year. Now, I am green on the year, but mentally, I'm putting a lot more pressure on myself this year to kind of make sure that I'm continually taking one step forward instead of six steps back and one step forward. I'm okay with taking one step back as long as I take two steps forward. So that's kind of what this week is all about. I think we are have officially made that first initial step, and now let's finish the week really strong and get moving and grooving out there. So today I'm finishing the day $658 in the green, which is some great news. So that's some amazing trading. Most of that profit is from one trade on EVAX. EVAX, man, I woke up super early this morning. I just couldn't sleep. And I saw EVAX setting up into 7 in the morning. I spotted it first at around 6 in the morning. And that was when I first broke the ice on this one. Kind of upset that I decided to trade it so early because, again, this is where I need to be looking at those key break levels, and I think that would really save me from kind of this choppy action here. But first, there's two really big trades of the day that I saw. One was going to be on QNTM and EVAX. Those were my favorite trades this day. And on EVAX, this is the 7 a.m. banger that we had. So let's get right into this one. I woke up, first broke the ice on this one right around 5:45 in the morning, and I was thinking, if I can just throw in some shares right here, I was actually expecting that quicker pop up here. But again, I'm not used to trading this early in the morning, so this is just too aggressive. Way too aggressive. I really need to be paying attention to those flat top breaks in order to see that larger move, especially this early in the morning and not into key times. So I kind of get chopped around a little bit right here. I was playing it pretty small because I was in the back of my head. I was like, you know what, this one's probably not going to get that larger momentum until 6:30 into 7 in the morning. And that's exactly what happens. So that was actually the whole my confluence to add some shares right here. So as you can tell, I bought some right here, and then closed that position right here as I saw that we were rejecting one more time from the 10 EMA on the 5. And now at the same time in this morning, nothing else on the top gainer list was even remotely setting up into 7 in the morning. So that's why I had a little bit more confidence to add some shares right here. I wanted to get a nice little starter position in right here, and I'm very happy that I don't get chopped around and over leverage in right here because that would have been stupid. But then, right when we get the flat top break of the 416 resistance, I add in with larger size. And then I'm taking some first initial profits off the table. And then I decide to add again into the 7 a.m. volume. And then as I'm adding into 7 a.m. volume, we get a explosive move all the way up to a $5 resistance. Now, technically, we hit a high of 492, but again, that's close enough to that 5 level for me. Now, I end up selling a good amount of my shares right around like that 470 area. And then I heavily scale out of my position up here at 480, and then I leave a little bit of a lottery share for in case price came back down, tested the 10 on the 1, and then continued to set up. So I decided to leave, I think it was like maybe 1/10 or 20% of my position, just in case price decided to hold on the 10-1. Because this is such an explosive move. I didn't think that we were going to hold up there for so long, especially how far extended we were from the 10 EMA on the 5. So Very happy with this trade. This was a textbook trade into 7 in the morning, just like yesterday's REBN, very similar. And then another one that I decided to trade was QNTM. QNTM was setting up and made a very nice initial pop, but as you can see, it just started to trade sideways. And then right when price started to test this 10 on the 5, failed below it, that's when you start that fading movement. The fail of the 10 on the 5 here really showed room to some lower levels. So noticing this, what I decided to do, how I ended up trading this one, was first right here for the breakthrough 673, and then taking a little bit of profit off the table up here, and then closing my position on the 10-1 fail. So this was a little bit of profit. I think that was this was like I think I was actually almost unrealized by about like $200 on that one, but I was kind of thinking we would get some larger move past that 750 resistance because I knew 755 was going to be a larger resistance. Now you're probably asking yourself, how do I know that's 755? Well, it's from the daily chart, and I'll pull that up in a second. But what I was thinking here is getting in as price found support on the 25 on the 1. When price is holding above the 25, that normally means the 10 on the 5 is holding up in a strong way, and we get a nice little pop all the way up to first targets and above that 710 resistance. Find resistance right up there and then slam back down to the 10 on the 1, and then I'm closing my position right there. So this was a nice little scalp. I'm happy that I'm green right here. And then I decided to play it again. Now, my thought process trying to play it again here, I'm actually so on board with. Now, the reasoning was originally we had a little bit more of a downtrend that looked like this, that looked just like that. And my thought process was if we get a break of the downtrend, this channel right here, that price, this one has just been moving sideways the entire time. Price either had to break out right here, it had to, or that meant the price was going to fail the 10 EMA on the 5. So this was a very, very big deciding moment right here for this stock. If price was able to find support at the 10 EMA on the 5, then I was pretty confident that's what would start that next leg higher. Then as you can see, price finally gets squeezed out of this channel right here by failing the 10 on the 5, and that's what starts that move lower, and I recognize that right here. So I closed the position right there. The thought process with this trade was we get a break. We try and grab some shares as close to the 10 on the 5 as possible. Then we try and get that next extension away from the 10 EMA on the 5. That doesn't end up happening in this case. So I'm very glad that I was able to at least keep it very, very tight because this is a stock that you did not want to get caught holding on. Now, if you guys remember, QNTM was also one of my trade of the days. Now, I'll show you how we actually end up playing this one later on. But right here, you should have noticed that this was a do or die moment for this stock. So if you got caught holding anywhere in here, I'm so sorry, but there were plenty of signs for you to get out with a small loss way ahead of time. So I'm very, very happy with myself that I cut this one very, very quick. Now, I'm sure that there were a lot of traders today that got caught holding in this bull trap right here, and then get caught holding through this massive, massive fade. Now, it does end up rallying back up all the way up to 755 later on in the day, and I'll show you how I called that one out to the team in the Discord. Now, after this, at this point in the morning, again, I'm still like slowly recovering from my sickness that I had last week. I'm feeling much better, but after this massive win on EVAX, I was very happy just to be up $658 on the day. So I decided to, I'm not even going to trade market open. I'm going to swap to a paper account right away. So that's what I end up doing. Now, in this paper account, I end up catching VLC in. This was a beauty of a trade. You could have been catching some shares from 581 because of this resistance placed all the way down here. So 581, we knew a break of 581 is ideally you get the move up to the downtrend, which is placed from this. We get a move up to the downtrend, we break the downtrend, and then we immediately halt up. Man, oh man, did this one have some volume stepping in. This was an amazing trade at market open. Really a huge, nice opening surge right here. Now you're probably asking yourself, that's a massive wick down right there. The fact that candles were still able to close above the 10 EMA on the 5, because this purple line is the 10 EMA on the 5 here. The fact that candles were able to close above the 10 EMA on the 5 basically meant that catching this move right here was just catching the next extension away from the 10 EMA on the 5, which is something that we look for many, many times. You'll see one of those moves every single day. So VLCN paper trading, I think this was like a plus 100, plus 1,000, plus 2,000, I think, trade. Because it made a move up. Let's swap my marker here. It made a move up, came back down, and then as VWAP climbed back up, I sold all my shares up here, paper trading, and then I went back in right here. So I played it twice, and then price rallied back up once again after a halt. So I played this one twice and made a nice 2 grand on that one. Now again, it was paper money, of course. You have to keep that in mind. But again, very, very beautiful, beautiful trade. And then QNTM. Man, oh man, do I want to talk about this one. So this is something that I look for many, many times to play something later on in the day. Now, again, I already made the conscious decision to not trade with real money after market open. And I could have made more money on this one today. Matter of fact, I probably could have had a $1,000 day. But regardless, I'm happy that I stuck to the plan. UNTM, what a banger of a trade. Now, this was the same one that we were looking at earlier, right here, where we mentioned that this was the do or die moment. And I guarantee you, many traders got stuck holding and hoping in this move right here. Now, QNTM, why would you want to hold through all of this chop when if there is showing and if it does eventually show strength to rally back up, then why don't you just play it then? Why do you want to hold and hope through all of that chop? So let's zoom in. This is the 5-minute chart on QNTM. So initially, this was the channel that we were talking about earlier. Price fails the 10 EMA on the 5 right here, and then shows room all the way down. Pretty aggressive selling off. And it makes a move all the way down to this key support. So this is where I get this 481 from, and that's a very key level for it to kind of continue holding throughout the day. If we had a fail of the 481 here, then that basically would have signified that we were going to start showing room to the 200 EMA on the 5-minute chart. Now, the key thing that I paid attention to in getting ready to trade this one, now again, I was paper trading it, but trading it nonetheless, was this one EMA. This 90 EMA on the 5-minute is all you needed to have focus on to land this amazing, amazing trade. Now, right when price put in this low, we know that if we hold above this low right here, we could start to show signs of stair-stepping up. And then from there on, we start to make a series of higher lows and higher lows all the way up, all the way up. So there were multiple ways to have traded this one. Now, what I was calling out to the team, I'm going to scroll down here. This is what I called out in the Discord. Link in the description if you're looking to join a great trading community and learn to trade. But this is what I was calling out to the team. QNTM, the 90 EMA on the 5, will not give up, has yet to get the larger move after popping from news. Because, again, this initial pop right here was it popping from news. It never got really any secondary momentum after that. And that's what I was kind of looking to see. You know, maybe some of these shorts get squeezed out of their positions right here. And that's exactly what happens. We got a really nice move after that. Now, what I would have loved to see is a break. I'm going to highlight this. Break and hold of the 5.5 break and hold of VWAP. Then we also know that 6 is going to be a key break that will start the larger move. So let's go back up to the chart here. Let's label this stuff. Here's our key 5.5. Here's VWAP. And then we also have this 597 6 resistance. So right here, getting ready to trade this one, there were many opportunities to look for entries. I first entered down here paper trading because we got the break and hold, and we were looking for the next extension away from the 10 EMA on the 5. So here we get the break of the 5.5 resistance. We get a nice move up into profits. Price comes back down and then tests our support. Price holding above VWAP here. Notice how it's still holding above our VWAP, our volume weighted average price, which again, we wanted to see a break and hold of the 5.5 and VWAP. And that's what's going to give us a launch pad. This is the launch pad right here for the larger move. And that's exactly what happens. So another thing to notice is from this area right here and from this high, that allows us to draw this downtrend right here. This downtrend, when we get a break of the downtrend, we immediately go into a halt on QNTM. I mean, just beautiful, truly beautiful. There were many opportunities to play this one for that larger break, and then right when we get that halt, that 6 break, again, it's a halt up, and then we start another right into the next halt, and man, what a beauty of a trade. So you could have traded this one multiple times, with a lot of profit taking coming in up here, rather than just maybe on a fail of the 10 on the 1 or anything like that. Now, at the same time, we know that if we get a break, and hold of this downtrend line, oh, there we go. The break and hold of the downtrend line is what gives us another springboard to make another higher high. And that's exactly what happens. Notice how price comes down. We have 3 different supports all in this area, and we're going to write them out. We have a volume-weighted average price. We have the 10 EMA on the 5. And then we also have the support of the downtrend. Support of the downtrend being quite literally this area on top of the downtrend. So price comes down, tests all 3 of these, and then gives us a springboard to the next area. Now, one other thing is we know that 6, 650, 7.1, 739, and 755 are all going to be key levels to pay attention to on this specific move. So if I scroll down here, I call that out. The reason I tried to bring such high focus to these levels once we got that amazing first leg up, or second a leg up from our entry, 710, 739, 755 big resistance. Now 710 and 739. Let's go back up to QNTM. So this is QNTM on the 1-minute chart earlier in the pre-market. We have 710 grabbed from this right here. And then it also made a wick up all the way up to 739. So the thought process here is getting a break of 710 shows room. We want a quick move all the way up to that 739 area. If we get a break of 710 and we don't get our move all the way up into first target taking, and we find too much resistance at 739, we want to cut it quick. We want to cut it very quick. On this move, so on this move, we don't get a full break of the 710 level, but we do get a nice wick up, clearing that 739 area. And then finally, we do get that move up to 755. Now you're probably asking yourself, how did I find that 755 area? Well, the reason I called it out was QNTM. We are on the daily chart up here. QNTM daily chart is this green candle up here. So a few, I don't know, it was probably a few months ago that price made QNTM made a very nice rally but found resistance right here at 755. So I simply put in a resistance level right there. That's a key level for us to pay attention to. And then, as you can see, price perfectly respects that same level. So all things to kind of keep in mind. I knew that we were going to have that resistance up at 755. It's not a guarantee that we're going to get the full move all the way up. But regardless, these were all levels that were placed ahead of time, and quite a phenomenal move. And it's very reliable to try and pay attention to some of these later day movements just by paying attention to the correct EMAs. In this case, it was price holding above the 90 EMA on the 5. And notice how once we get this support, this low put in right here, price starts to stair step up, makes another higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. It's still making higher lows. So we might even want to pay attention to this one into tomorrow. But regardless, I paper traded a lot today. I'm definitely going to probably get back out of the simulator. I'm feeling a lot more confident. Like spending some time in the simulator is always a good idea, in my opinion, especially with a red week. Me coming off of a red week. So last week, I think I dug myself a hole of like around $1,200. So I'm definitely like putting myself back through the paces of training boot camp, basically, trading boot camp. And one of the ways to do that is by just simply spending more time in the simulator. When you're not confident on the setup, just go to the simulator. And I'm kind of glad that I did that today, even though the trade on QNTM, I mean, this is textbook in my opinion. There were many ways to kind of keep focus on this one throughout the day. Now, just because price eventually found support at one of our EMAs on the 5-minute chart does not, and I can't stress this enough, does not mean you want to get caught holding and hoping on the front side. Don't get caught holding and hoping. I played it once for a small loss up here, and then I just simply stayed patient. And then it made another amazing trade for us. But you had to stay patient for it. If you were holding and hoping from our first entry, or first time we tried that 710 resistance, I mean, you would have had to hold through like what, minus 60%? So you would have lost 60% of your portfolio, and you might have made 1%. Price went down 60%, and then maybe 1% above your 710 average. That's not worth it. Keep it tight, like I did. I kept it tight by selling on the fail of the 10 EMA on the 5, and then I simply kept focus on it for it to develop into that later day movement. And that's how you nail a trade like QNTM. So paper trading, I'm up. a very amazing 3,400. That would have been a fantastic day. And that was actually using my same like kind of position sizing with a settled with a cash account. So man, oh man, tough day. But regardless, we're finishing the day $658.06 in the green. I hope you guys were also able to lock in some green, and I will see you guys tomorrow for tomorrow's trading recap. Have a good day, team.